Alright, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be my second video on Black Ops 4. I made a first impressions video already, so if you just want to know like my general thoughts of the game, go watch that video, but my opinion hasn't really changed too much since then. I will say, after I played to the new level cap of 34, I did like the game a little bit better than I originally did when it was at 25, but there's still some very big issues that are really preventing me from enjoying this game that much. They did say they're gonna buff the score streaks, which is good. That was one of my big points in my last video that I made. I thought the score streaks were pretty weak, so it's good that they are addressing some of the concerns. However, there are still three very big concerns that I have for Black Ops 4, so I really want to focus on these three things because I feel like they are much more important than everything else. So number one, Fog of War. So I'm not sure if everyone even quite understands how the minimap works in Black Ops 4, but basically on the minimap, there's like a little circle around you. It kind of acts like a UAV or like a motion sensor, I would say, and if an enemy walks within that radius of your Fog of War, they show up on your minimap. You might have noticed at times during the beta, like you'd be sneaking up on someone or flanking a team and you'd have them completely caught off guard, but then someone's gonna turn around and start shooting at you before you've even started shooting at them. That's because of the minimap. They saw you in their little Fog of War radius or whatever. Now, my issue with this is, as far as I understand, there's no counter. I don't understand why neither Ghost nor Cold-Blooded counters this. It would be a pretty simple fix to just make one of those two perks counter it. I mean, this is basic shit, man. You can't have something in a video game that has no counter at all. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That is just an amateur mistake. I don't even know why this feature was implemented in the first place. I mean, the only thing I can really think of is they're trying to help out some of the more casual, terrible players who have no awareness. They don't really know what's going on, but then they see a red dot on their minimap. All of a sudden, instead of having to actually be aware of people flanking them or whatever, they just see you on the map so they can just try to shoot you. So as I said, I don't really understand it, but it's a very easy fix, man. Just have a perk to counter it. It doesn't even have to be a brand new perk. Just make one of the two perks that are already in the game, Ghost or Cold-Blooded, just make one of those perks counter it and we're good. So it's really not much of a problem. Now number two, armor. Okay, this is a big one, right? I would just personally love for them to take this out of the game. I mean, if you think about it, the time to kill in this game is already super high, much higher than any other Call of Duty. And then on top of that, they give you armor so you can have even more health. Like, that doesn't make any sense, man. It's gotta go. However, it's pretty unlikely that they will remove it completely from the game. So let's just think of ways to fix it, right? The problem with it right now is that the only counter to it is to use AP rounds on your gun. However, not every gun has the AP rounds attachment, so I don't know what they were thinking with that. I mean, obviously, if there's gonna be a counter to armor, the counter needs to be available for every single gun. You can't force people to use certain guns in order to counter something in your game. That is a broken game. I don't even like that as a counter method. I shouldn't be forced to run an attachment on my gun, right? If I don't feel comfortable playing your game without having AP rounds on my gun, that means there's a balance issue going on with the game. So what we need to do, instead of making everyone else adapt to armor, is discourage the use of armor itself, right? Because right now, there's not much of a penalty for using armor, but in games like Rainbow Six, which I mean, Black Ops 4 has copied plenty of stuff from Rainbow Six, so why don't we go ahead and copy a few more things as well. In Rainbow, if you pick a character with higher armor, then you'll have lower speed, right? It's a trade-off. I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, a person will move slower if they have all this heavy armor on, right? So let's just implement something like that into Black Ops 4 as well. And I guarantee you, if you implement that into the game, you will see a decrease in the amount of people using armor. Probably it'll mainly be AR players who start using armor, because as an SMG player, you need to be moving quickly, right? It's pretty important. So, that's just a simple solution. There are so many others that you could do, but the bottom line is something needs to be done about it, because the way armor works in its current state is just unacceptable. Finally, number 3. I saved this one for last because I guess it's more of an opinion, but it's an opinion that I'd say the majority of the Call of Duty community has. has, and that is the time to kill. It's just too much, alright? It's too high. Everyone has way too much health. Simple as that. It is the highest time to kill of any Call of Duty game. The crazy part to me is this, right? I don't know if people are just looking at this the wrong way, but for the last 15 years of Call of Duty, all we've done is complain anytime there was a higher time to kill method in a game. Anytime there was a feature in a Call of Duty game that increased your health, all the community has done as a whole is complain about it. Like, let's think about the history of COD, right? Going back to COD 4, we had Juggernaut. Everyone used to complain about Jug back in the day. Then we moved on to Modern Warfare 2, and everyone hated Painkiller. And then we moved on to Modern Warfare 3 and Ghosts. Everyone hated Ballistic Vests. And then we moved on to Advanced Warfare. Everyone hated Stim. Moved on to Black Ops 4. Everyone hates Armor. We've always hated anything having to do with more health in Call of Duty. But now all of a sudden, since it's your base health that has been increased and it's not a perk or a kill streak or some sort of feature in the game, people just accepted it? Like, I just can't agree with that, man. The base health in this game is like having a ballistic vest in MW3. Can you all imagine how terrible Modern Warfare 3 would have been if every single person spawned in with the ballistic vest on? That is awful, man. Or MW2. If every single person spawned in on MW2 with Painkiller, can you just think about how much of an awful experience that would have been? But that's exactly what they've done with Black Ops 4, and I just don't think everyone quite realizes exactly what's going on here, and I just can't support it, man. I just don't think that belongs in Call of Duty. It doesn't play well, man. It just doesn't work. So I would just like to see a decrease in the overall health. There's no reason we should be having 150 health, man. Like, can we try 125? You know, I can compromise. I'm not saying it has to go back to 100, but let's try to meet in the middle at 125, and let's just see how that feels, right? I mean, there's no harm in trying it out, right? That's the reason we have a beta, to try things out. So for weekend 2 of the beta, why don't we just put it on 125 health, see how it plays out. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's terrible. Maybe no one likes it. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Or maybe it makes the game better. That would be great. Who knows? But I think we should try and see how it goes. So anyways, that's my 3 biggest issues with the game so far. I'm gonna play it again, of course, in weekend 2, see what changes they've done, but if these 3 things are not addressed, I doubt I will be playing it too much when it actually comes out. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day, and peace out.
Can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.